Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I would like to start with a special welcome to the companies and its employees who are providing the demonstrations today and other municipalities who are watching via live stream. This day marks a special moment. After intense cooperation and deliberation with our safety partners, we choose a select amount of solutions who can prevent a terrorist attack. The urgency to prepare ourselves for terrorist attacks and other social incidents has changed my mindset as mayor. The digital or online opportunities are endless. We have to prepare and use these digital instruments to our benefit. The setting in this building, the Klokgebouw, is real as it gets. It's a reenactment of a terrorist attack. Because of the COVID crisis, it's not possible to meet each other. I would like to thank you and the students and organizers for the great support they provided and wish you a successful day in our beautiful city, Eindhoven.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Egbert Jaspers of ViNotion. And let me first explain a little bit what we do and what we are going to demonstrate. We are a company that is specialized in systems for monitoring crowds and traffic. And our product is not usually intended to be used for terroristic attacks, but our typical situations are monitoring this traffic on various lanes on a road. So these roads are maybe 15 meters wide. But we thought if we can apply this technology also for situational awareness in a terroristic attack, and then you have to think about large spaces and not roads where you have maybe 250 square meters, but we are talking about large areas of 5,000 square meters plus. So the last year, since we were selected for this challenge, we started developing, extending the technology and broadening the area scope of the system. So this is, for example, a typical product of us. I hope you can see it, but it is a small box that you can connect to a camera. And in this situation, where we have very large areas, of course, we are here in a hall. Unfortunately, we cannot do it outside where we really have 5,000 square meters. I think the area here is about 1,000 square meters where we can analyze. We managed to do that all on this small piece of hardware, consuming about 10 to 15 watts of energy. And even if there are thousands of people, we can detect the people, and every 25 times per second we pinpoint their position, their direction, their speed. So imagine if there is a terroristic attack, then we can measure where people are escaping to, where the threat is coming from, if there is vehicles involved. So this situational awareness can inform emergency troops for intervention. They know where to go, how many people to go. They can inform hospitals. They can be better prepared to intervene the situation. Now we're going to give a small demonstration here, showing you that we are capable of detecting all the people. Also, if there would be vehicles, etc., we can detect and classify them. And we all do that in real time on this box. So can I ask to start the scenario? If you see the screen, that is basically the output of our system. And in the right bottom corner, you can see that we can project the positions of the people on a floor plane. You could do that also on a map, for example. This afternoon I will be able to tell you a little bit more about our product and what you can do about it. But here you can already see that we can detect all the people. We see what they are doing, circling around. But if there is panic, we see all people running. We see their speed. And you see also if there is a vehicle approaching the people, where it's coming from. So the information gives a lot of help for emergency troops to intervene in these situations. The image that you see is blurred, and that's because our system is also GDPR compliant. So basically there is no personal data involved. All the video data that can be seen is anonymized, but it would be, of course, possible to also use this information later for training purposes, because not only the live data, but also historic data is available. So after the crime, after the terroristic attack, you can play back the scenario and see what happened, see how the troops did their intervention, and you could use it also for training purposes. All the people have moved now from the area, and we deliberately made the trajectories so that you can also see where the people are coming from and where they are going. People are coming back into the scene. You see they are gathering a bit. So basically you see the behavior, and the system is also capable of generating events. So from the information we could detect if there is panic, if there is congestion, and based on this information we could also trigger the police, for example, that there is a situation going on. The system has an open API. If I can proceed talking, I'm not sure how much time I still have left, but that means that all the data, so the position and the speed and direction of each individual, is available by the system, and you can use that for back office systems. So you can make visualizations in a dashboard, for example, showing how many people are there, what the density is. So you can also use it for social distancing. You can visualize hotspots in heat maps. So where is it crowded? What are the typical flows of people? A lot of information that we already apply nowadays for cities, but mainly for crowd management and traffic management and policy making. But as you can see, you can also easily exploit the system for terroristic attacks. And since we are now capable of doing this with a single camera, we have a camera of access, by the way. This is also important to tell because we need to have sufficient resolution. Imagine you have an area of 5,000 square meters, then we need to have all people in the view of the camera. So we have a camera of access. Access is our partner in this project. It's a 20 megapixel camera. So on a very large area, we can pinpoint all the positions and see what they are doing with our product. Okay, I think this summarizes, I guess, the demonstration that we provide today. Is there possibilities for Q&A?
Well, ViNotion is a company that is specialized in smart camera technology. And our most common applications are crowd management, traffic management, urban mobility, data that is being used for crowd management and traffic management and policy making. And basically, our products are technology that you can put behind a camera system and analyzes the camera streams using artificial intelligence to detect all the objects and measure all kinds of information from that. So from all the subjects in the camera view, we can detect the position, their speed, their direction, what type of subject it is. All that is being done in real time on this box. It's a small box of about 10 centimeters. You probably saw it this morning in the demonstration. And there also says privacy by design. What is meant with that? Because it's an edge device. That means that video data does not need to be exposed to the outside world because video images in the public spaces can contain personal data. but letting it analyzed by this device and just retrieving information from the video streams without exposing the video streams, but only positions of subjects without personal data, means that you can apply this technology in public spaces without revealing any personal data. That's very important. And because we understand what kind of subjects there are, it's very suitable for all kinds of traffic applications and crowd management applications. So what you see in this example picture is that we detect bicycles, pedestrians, cars, etc. But we can also see in what direction they go. And we know their speed. So you can imagine all kinds of things that you can measure, like near incidents, how many vehicles go by red light or in a wrong way direction. And you can also exploit the information for controlling the traffic lights in a more smart way. So there's actually a lot of different applications, but the basic technology is that we detect objects, know what these objects are and how they behave in speed and direction, etc. Now that data is streamed in real time, so 25 times per second you get new information about what that object is doing. And you can use that for all these different use cases. Now, what you have seen in the demonstration this morning was that we extended the product not only to detect objects in a reasonable small space, because all the applications that you see here, we are talking about surfaces of, let's say, 250 square meters. But now we improved the system to be capable of detecting people and objects in about 5,000 square meters. So you can even do quite big market squares in the city, where all the people and the vehicles and bicycles, etc., are being detected and followed. And at any time, you know how they behave in speed and what direction they go. And so that means that if there is a terroristic attack, or there is panic, or it's getting simply too crowded from tourists or whatever, you can see what's going on. Is there panic? Is there congestion? Where is the problems occurring, etc. I get a question here. Can it also be used to predict crowd movement from certain type of events? The system as we present it right now is not capable of predicting, but we do work together with a partner that indeed also uses the information from our system, where it is fed into a simulation model. And that model processes all the data in advance, so it's basically faster than real time and can predict what's going to happen in more than 1 hour in advance. But that's also something that we are at this moment applying in some cities, like in Amsterdam. Yes, it's possible with the cooperation of some partners. What you can see here is that the basic AI technology, the sensor processing is all readily available on a high TRL level. So that's readily available as a product. But the upper part depends a lot on the use case. So for this demonstration that we showed today, we did some work modifying the system in a reasonable small amount of time, allowing the same product to be applied for different use cases. That can be very interesting because maybe you see different possibilities for this product for new use cases. And we're happy to discuss that. This is a little bit of technical picture, but basically it happens all in the edge. And what you can see here is that video data is being anonymized. So you can still see some video footage like we demonstrated this morning, but it's not possible to recognize people or something like that. And you don't need to stream the video data. You can use a 3G or 4G connection and only stream the metadata, so the results from the video, to a dashboard or a back office system where you can use it for your application. So here are some examples. Here you see, for example, it's very similar what you have shown or seen this morning, where people are being detected. You measure their speed, their position, and you can project that on a floor plan to see how people are moving. You can make dashboards and these kind of things to get more information. Here, yet another use case where we see how dense the amount of people is, what the speed is, and based on that information, we can conclude whether there is congestion or panic. We can have triggers based on this information to warn the authorities. So this is the use cases for traffic management authority. So next one. Policy making or traffic management. Here we see the interaction of traffic, cars and pedestrians and bicycles on a small intersection. And we can see where there are dangerous situations and if all the people in the traffic situations behave correctly. Just to mention a few examples of use cases. Here you see the same product being applied on a highway for incident detection and also the emergency lane control. So here the emergency lane is open and we see that what type of vehicles are driving there, but when the emergency lane is closed, then we can also see if there is vehicles stopped or not and warn the authorities for that. There is more use cases, as I already explained, and as of today, after the new developments for terrorist attacks, we can also apply this for crowd management on large spaces, so market squares of cities, etc. And to conclude, the video-based artificial intelligence is already mature. It's a product, it's being certified, it's already in the market and being validated by a lot of customers. There's a lot of versatile information coming from the system, so we see different users that want different information, like intensities for policy making, or want to have information about near incidents, or want to know when there is panic or congestion, you name it. So you see that a lot of customers want to apply the system for new applications. So a lot of our customers are OEM customers or partners that need a tailor-made solution. And we can help them to bring new applications to the market. So that concludes my talk. I see another question popping up. Social context. Can municipalities stay in control of perception of how it will be used, legal and ethics, etc.? Yes, so in our business model, we basically sell the systems or deploy the systems, but the data is always owned by our customers. So they can do whatever they want with it. Like I said, it's GDPR compliant. There is no personal data being made available by the system. So basically our customers are in control and can use the data however they want. I hope that answers the question. Is there more questions? If not, then I would like to thank you. If you want to have contact with ViNotion after this talk, then please just send a request to the organization and we are happy to contact you and talk more about the possibilities. No, not yet. There is another question I understood. Let me see. Stop sharing. Okay. Okay, I have another question from the perspective of the municipality. How do they know if their legal infrastructure is ready for using the demonstrated technology? For example, it is known which quality cameras is needed, or which bandwidth is needed, etc. Is there a checklist available that municipalities can use? Okay, that's a very good question. I don't think it's readily available, such a checklist, but it's also not really complicated. It will work with any type of camera, so standard CCTV cameras, but there is indeed some requirements. If you want to use this for large squares, it means that you also need to have sufficient resolution in your camera. What we demonstrated today, system capable of analyzing 5,000 square meters. We used a camera with 20 megapixel resolution, so that's quite high. So if you use a standard high definition camera, that's really that's a little bit a commodity camera, let's say, then I would suspect that we maybe can cover 200 to 400 square meters. But if you have questions or whether we can apply this for your municipality, let us know offline, and we will have a look at what the legacy of your systems is, and we can see if it is ready to be deployed. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Thank you for your interest, and hope to have contact later on.